Good evening. My name is Daniel Purcell, and today I'm going to be doing my informative speech for Communications 101. In the United States, the total number of Americans that are diagnosed with asthma is on the rise. Every year, more and more people complain of asthma-related symptoms. Children and elderly are also at risk for asthma-related death. Asthma can also lead to more breathing problems such as COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. With the advances in medical science, asthma is more manageable than in the past, but there's still no known cure. In this presentation, you will learn about the signs and symptoms of asthma and what can be done to combat this disease. According to the Center for Disease Control, approximately 20 million Americans are living with this disease. With decreased air quality and more people moving to inner cities, this number is projected to increase over the next 20 years. Asthma is defined as a chronic disease of the lungs that causes the airways to swell, tighten, and generate huge amounts of mucus, according to Van Nostrand's Scientific Encyclopedia, published in 2008. The term asthma is actually referred to in Greek times from Hippocrates. The word asthma is to describe episodes of shortness of breath. In 1860, Henry Hyde Salter, a leading doctor of his time, described asthma as a narrowing of the airways due to smooth muscle contraction. Asthma is a lower airway disease that affects the lower airway passages. By narrowing the airway passages, the body is unable to breathe enough oxygen, which causes the body to undergo hypoxia. Hypoxia is just another medical term for lack of oxygen. With this lack of oxygen, the body is unable to perform basic functions necessary for life. Children and adults can be diagnosed with asthma. In Mosby's Dictionary of Medicine, Nursing and Health Professions, published in 2012, it states that children are typically diagnosed at approximately 8 years old. The reason that they don't diagnose children before 8 years old is because they have other diseases that adults don't have, such as epiglottitis and croup. Those are only affected in children. The adult symptoms of asthma, such as can be diagnosed with various reasons. Adults that could have a family history that can also affect them later in life. As far as environmental influences can affect them, like smoking or air pollution. Adults and children can develop allergies to animal dander and pollen as well, and this can also lead to asthma. Whether children or adults, asthma has its own set of signs and symptoms. The first symptom for asthma is the easiest one to point out, and that's the shortness of breath. Due to the lack of oxygen in the lungs, the body will experience this shortness of breath feeling. With shortness of breath also comes wheezing. That would be your next symptom for asthma. The wheezing is from the air that is being inhaled and now has to pass through those airway passages that are much tighter because of the asthma, and that causes that wheezing sound. Other signs and symptoms of asthma described in Asthma in Children, published by McCarthy, Tribune Business News. It states that the person with asthma can experience a heaviness or tightness in the chest, extreme nighttime cough, or even color change in the skin, such as bluing of the skin, and especially in the face or in the lips and the fingers. Now we turn to more medical advances that asthma can be treated. Medicine has come a long way in the last 100 years. Back in the 1950s, doctors would make entire families move to a drier state, such as Las Vegas, in order to combat the disease. The leading treatment now is an inhaled corticosteroid. Basically, an inhaled corticosteroid is the inhalers that everybody uses that has asthma. And it works by opening the airway passages to the lungs. Some people have said that in the past that giving a child with asthma this inhaled corticosteroid will shunt their growth. In fact, that's actually not true. In the Benbrook Observer, published in October of 2000, it states that inhaled steroids, a standard treatment for children with severe asthma, do not permanently shunt growth, as doctors have feared. The Pembroke Observer goes on to say that over a 10-year study, it proved that the drug does not shunt the growth of children. Other medications, such as a pill, can also be taken for asthma, but more research is needed to see its long-term effects. Today we discovered and covered asthma and its effects on humanity. I hope that you know that asthma is a dangerous disease that affects even more people each year. Effective medications have been created and found to make the lives of asthma sufferers easier, but unfortunately, the cure remains elusive. Hopefully, someone in my lifetime will find the cure and be able to save many lives with this disease. Maybe that person is you. Thank you for attending my informative speech today.
Thank you.